I grew up in Ireland. My father, Tom Brosnan, well, he left when I was an infant. It was not a good time to be a single mother. But my mother was courageous in her determination to make a better life for us both. And thus, she left the shores of Ireland to become a nurse in England. Such a decision came a number of years of separation and heartache. At the age of 4, I went to live with my grandparents. After they passed on, I ended up living with a friend of the family. Eileen Riley was her name. Eileen was a saint of a woman to me. She was a classic Irish woman with an apron wrapped around her full figure that was always covered in baking powder. I lived upstairs in a room that I shared with 2 other lodgers. There was some sadness and longing. I remember how she wept. The day I left her, I was 11 years old. My life began again that day as I traveled alone on the plane to London with rosary beads in one hand and an empty aspirin bottle filled with holy water in the other. Once there, fresh off the plane with a thick Irish brogue. For some reason, they could not or would not say my name, Pierce, so I was known as Irish. Each and every day, trying to find my footing in this new landscape of prejudice and racism, learning words I'd never known and never wanted to know. I learned to assimilate. It was, in some ways, my first acting job, to be someone else. And eventually, I found people I didn't need to act for. I found friends who accepted me, brogue and all, friends who called me by my name, on my own. I had learned to survive, but through friendship, I learned to thrive. Those boys' acceptance, Eileen's generosity, my mother's sacrifice, that is what got me through my childhood. I can tell you this, wherever you're going, you won't get there alone. I certainly didn't. It's easy to feel overwhelmed or daunted by the challenges facing our world. In those moments when you feel outmatched, you need people you can turn to. You need people who can support you, who can swell spirits, who can pick you up and dust you off and set you right. And once you're ready to get back into the fight, you will need people to stand by your side. Our world doesn't need a lone hero out to solve things solo. Our world doesn't need a hero who only chases adventure and glamour. We need people who have a passion and a sense of a mission. My own environmental awareness and activism were born out of a love of nature, a love for the ocean, and the love of a great woman, namely my wife, Keely. My wife and I helped save the last pristine breeding ground of the California gray whales. That is our passion. That is our mission. Many in your position have sought the route of the flashy, exciting, or adventurous. They've taken the high-powered job or the well-regarded profession because they want the thrill that comes with first-class cabins, penthouse suites, and swanky clothes. Well, I have worn the tuxedo, so I can tell you this. Our world doesn't need you to chase the super spy lifestyle. It needs you to find a passion and a mission. Greatness doesn't come from destruction. It comes from the courage to create, to see the opportunity we have been given, to seize it, and to build the future. You are the architects and the engineers of a new tomorrow. And like no species before us, you have the power to shape the future. So when you leave here today, I urge you to pursue something that is exacting to you as it is important to the world. Make something that matters. The world needs your will, it needs your imagination, your courage, your appetite for adventure. It needs your hands and your minds and your hearts. Our world doesn't need a hero with a license to kill. We need people with the courage to create. You have before you the most singular opportunity for greatness ever offered to any generation. So take it. Rise up. Save the world.